Hello, hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I am your host, John Harris, and today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have Ligature Marks. They have a new album called Set Oceans on Fire, parenthetically, Deluxe Edition, which I appreciate. It's released on June 11th. Right now, I'm being joined by Ben to share some more information about this stellar release, music video that they got going for. I've got up on the screen here in front of me, so we'll chat about that, and what the boys have got coming down the pipeline. Looks like it's some very exciting stuff. So, Ben, welcome to the show.
Oh, man, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely great to have you on. Now, I guess my first question is, this release, Set Oceans on Fire, what is this release? Is it a concept album? Is it a themed album? What was the intention in producing this record?
This was just kind of our fledgling efforts when we became a band. So this EP in particular was really us just kind of finding our sound. I don't know that there was necessarily a concept with it. Probably the underlying theme of destruction of the earth and man's relationship to it. Probably a small underlining theme, but I don't think there was a conscious effort to make a concept album or anything. Okay.
You mentioned something super important there, finding your sound. It almost sounds like coming of age. You know, the young album's coming of age. On track 6, you can hear the voice cracking.
Yeah, totally. A prepubescent fledgling efforts of Ligature Marks EP.
Yeah. Hey guys, why don't we just release it? We could just trash it, but let's release it. No, just kidding. So what was that like? Take us through that. You guys got together, started jamming, doing your thing. At what point did you start to hit the record button? And I guess, was there a point at which you knew you had that sound? Do you guys think that you achieved that sound?
So this project sort of started as it was going to be like a couple one-off songs. And then we just kind of kept adding members. Like as we would add a layer to it, we realized that it was getting better and better. And so that Set Oceans on Fire is sort of the snapshot of that process of us like really getting together and adding sounds. The first time that we actually played all together as a band in the same room, oddly enough, was when we recorded a music video for a song called Fire and Flood. And that was the first time that all of us had actually been playing simultaneously was during the recording process of that. Because like I said, it was just kind of intended to be I don't even know if side project would be the right word. It was like a one-off song that we first started with, and then wrote another one, and then pretty soon put them all together in the form of a record and dropped them.
Okay. Very cool. Now you mentioned the music.
Did that answer that question? Sorry.
It did answer that question. So is this then like a pandemic-born thing? Like it wouldn't have happened if it weren't for the pandemic?
No, I think if anything, this stuff was written before the pandemic. So I think if anything, the pandemic kind of lent its hand to us really focusing on writing the next batch of songs and getting the next batch of music videos ready to go.
Okay. And
so what happened on Oceans was like I said, that was really like the discovery process of our sound and figuring out like which one of our influences are going to add what in particular to the project.
Okay. That's always an interesting question. Did that come up as like as a thing? Like what are our influences and what should we include or not include? Or does it just kind of organically hit the table and then, I don't know, somebody go, man, that sounds like a Yes song. That sounds like an ABBA song. Let's...
That's funny that you mentioned ABBA. I saw something earlier today that compared the band Ghost to basically being ABBA with distortion, and I was like, there might be something to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that we
are ABBA with distortion.
I don't think that we're ABBA with distortion, but I don't think that we necessarily tried to push a particular influence. I think it happened organically, like you were saying. I think when people try to force that, when they're like, we're going to create a death metal polka fucking mariachi fusion band, when you try to force adding the elements into stuff, I don't think that it sounds very genuine.
Yeah. Post-melodic technical mariachi core.
Rad. I'm into it.
Yeah. So just imagine going to get some tacos and the mariachi band does a drop.
It'd be amazing. I'm feeling it. All right, we just nailed something, man. I think we gotta launch this project now.
We sure do. We'll get Curtis to release it, and we can get our interviews on shows like that weird Canadian guy named John Harris or so.
Not the weird Canadian guy named Curtis.
No, not the weird Canadian guy named Curtis. That's kind of funny. How did you end up commingling with Canadians? I mean, you guys are in Portland, so you're not too far away, right? But
totally. So we got a write-up from a gal by the name of Corey Westbrook. I don't know if you know her yet.
Working with Curtis.
She's working with Curtis, absolutely. And she was working and still is working with Metal Injection. And she saw us play with Soulfly in Portland and gave us a pretty favorable write-up on Metal Injection. So we reached out just to say thank you and explained that we had some stuff coming down the pipe. And she was like, do you need help releasing any of it? Do you want to know how to, properly send a press release? And so we, sure, we'll take all the help we can get. And then about a year later, here's Corey managing us now.
Oh, she's managing you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. It's so definitely took a turn for the better, man. I think her drive in this industry is pretty unprecedented. She's crushing, man. And then when she teamed up with Curtis, it got a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the thing that you need, I think, in this industry is passionate drive and constantly looking out for ligature marks in places. So
sure.
Yeah, that's
with me, authenticity is huge, man. And when you can tell that somebody is genuinely passionate about what they're doing, or they're genuinely trying to influence the direction of the way that bands are treated and the way that bands are received and the way that bands are pushed and who's backing the band, I think that really shined through for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, interesting question.
All right.
Do I come across as passionate about you boys?
Yes, you do. And your podcast seems sincere. I mean, everything from just the way that it went about booking and all of it. Yeah, okay. It does. It seems like you're more than just yeah, here's a link, click it when it's time to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Good to know, because I dig your stuff.
And you're wearing AKG headphones and a Cobra Kai hoodie, so I'm not mad at anything about what you got going on, man.
Beautiful. Good to know. I'm glad somebody pointed that out. That's good.
Those are AKG headphones, right?
These are AKG headphones.
That's what I use in the studio, man. I love them.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Well, I'm glad that we're having some represent, and Cobra Kai never dies.
All day,
baby. Boom. I was waiting for what was going to happen to Miguel, and then finally the third season came out of Cobra Kai, and I I destroyed it, and now I'm waiting for season 4, and it's awful.
Yeah, can't wait, man. Did you watch it when it came out on Netflix, or did you watch it when it got released on YouTube?
Netflix.
So it came out, people were tripping on me about this, because it came out 2 years prior to it being on Netflix. Okay. And it was on YouTube, and I was like, no, I've already seen the first 2 seasons, and everyone's like, no, it just came out.
Right.
It was really weird. It got no hype, and nobody even knew it existed, and then Netflix gets it, and it's the biggest shit ever.
I know.
It's so weird.
Yeah. It's going to be like this show. People are going to be like, man, have you ever heard of the Rock Metal Podcast? I'm like, yeah, that happened 10 years ago. I'm like, no, it just came out last week on Netflix.
Totally.
Yeah, you don't even know. You'll be my first guest. I'll have a couch. It'll be great.
Awesome. I'm into it.
Yeah. Sweet. Soulfly, you played with them. I'm guessing this was obviously a bit ago because due to certain circumstances, there would be no shows as of recent. But that's cool. What was it like playing with them?
Super cool, man. Those guys are such a well-oiled machine that it's just every time that we played with them, it's just flawless. Their stage is managed tight. The show is managed tight. They always sound dynamite. So playing with Sulfite is great. Yeah.
Does that inspire you to look at, I don't know, I'm not suggesting that you guys' stage sucks, but did it inspire you guys to look at your own selves and go, man, we got to be like that?
I think any band like that is seasoned when it comes to playing gigs, man. I think that's always inspiring. I think anytime you see a band that runs that tight of a ship, where everybody that's involved with the band kind of seems to know what the band is needing or thinking at the time, hell yeah, that's inspiring.
Cool. Now, the one other kind of side question, and then we'll get back to Ligature Marks, because you are the star of the show, but one quick side question. I also do industry insider stuff where I chat with record execs or band managers or tour managers or whatever.
Very cool.
Yeah. And my question is if Corey would be cool with coming on to have an industry insider chat where we talk about life from her perspective in the music industry.
Oh, I'm sure she would. You'd have to ask her, but I don't see why she wouldn't.
Okay.
Her and Curtis do a podcast right now, and I think that any band that's a young band, like just trying to cut their teeth in this game, they're fucking up if they're not watching that podcast.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Or this one. Now.
Or this one.
Now, Fire and Flood, you mentioned this was the first music video, and this looks like, you're angry. Every time I stop on your face, you're like, you're letting it out. I like your coat, though. It's a good coat. Your feet are getting wet. Take us through this music video. I guess you guys are going through the mountains here in Oregon?
Yeah, so that's most of that was filmed in a little town called Mosier, which is out in the Columbia River Gorge. What's up, dude?
Hey!
This is my son, Gabriel, and Gabriel, this is Ben.
Hey, Ben!
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I am... Well, how are you?
I'm really good, buddy. I'm really good.
Mm-hmm. Did you just finish school, kiddo?
I did.
Sweet. You want to come hang out?
Sure.
Okay. So
yeah.
Ben was in the middle of telling us about this music video. We've got this pretty girl who's underwater doing acrobatics. And this other...
Yeah, man. So filming all the pool scene was interesting because that was in one of the biggest snowstorms that I can remember having in Portland. And we had rented a pool for the entire day, and we showed up to the pool, which was about an hour from where we live in a little town called Sandy. And we pulled up to the pool, and somebody had taken the time to go to the pool to hang a note on the door that said the pool is closed for the day, but not bothered to tell us that our pool session had been canceled. So last minute, we actually ended up booking another pool that was a couple miles away, and they let us come in. They're like, yeah, we canceled all of our morning classes because of the snow, so if you guys want to use it, sure. And they let us come in and drop a bunch of weighted sheets into the pool and have a bunch of metalheads hanging out all day with camera equipment. And yeah.
Okay. And then the Witchcraft Girl, I'm guessing you just found because it's Oregon.
Yeah, totally. They're a dime a dozen here, man.
Yeah,
probably walk outside and find one right now. some sort of pagan would be forest nymph of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, Fire and Flood. What is this track about? Especially with these girls. Because you mentioned we got one in the swimming pool, we got one doing divination, and I just stopped, and it appears to be another girl. I don't know if it's the same one or not. Maybe it's a different pose in the woods there. What is this track about? Is this music video trying to tell a story?
We don't always match up the storyline from the music video like to the lyrics or anything, and I don't really tend to hit the nail right on the head when it comes to what a song is about. But this song definitely started. This song is one of the few that started with a title, and Carl, our guitar player, was the one that came to me with the title and was like, "Hey man, I want to call it Fire and Flood," and that inspired the lyrics. And the lyrics definitely are into that vein of what we were talking about earlier about man's kind of relationship to their own destructive nature to the planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I imagine coming from Oregon, you guys probably have a pretty strong stance on that.
Yeah, we're pretty passionate about our trees around here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Now there was another
recycle, reduce, reuse. You know what I mean?
That's right. And I don't think people look at the other ones because we get recycle, but do we get reuse? Do we get reduce?
Mm-hmm. These are fine questions. Mm-hmm. These are fine questions. I think some people do. I think some people don't. I think that it's without being completely conscious of it or driving yourself insane by thinking about it. You just got to do what you can.
Exactly.
Do your part.
That's right. Do your part, world. Now, the other music video, which I think was one that actually I got introduced to the band and I was just captivated by it, is Noise in the Signal. And I hate that. You know when you're in the recording studio and you're like, oh, what's that noise? And you're like switching out cables? I hate it.
Yep. I'm with that too. We were meaning that a little more metaphorically, I think, than that. But
So I'm guessing it's a psychological meaning, noise in the signal.
Yeah. It was kind of meant to be a couple different things. The other idea with it was that there being more. What's the best way to describe this? Like with there being so many more messages being thrown out into the universe, or so many more voices trying to be heard, like cutting through that. Okay. And whether those are the voices in your head or the voices on Facebook or the voices meaning like other musicians trying to put out their shit. Like right now it's easier than ever to release music, but really, really hard to get seen because there's so much of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right about now. It's like that scene from, what's the movie where the blood's coming down the hallway?
The Shining?
The Shining. That's exactly what it is right now. It's The Shining, except it's not blood, it's poop. And there's just all this poop on the internet because everybody's got technology, the ability to upload, and no sense of talent or decency. So it's this big flood of poop. But you guys are getting noticed because you guys are like sailing on top of the poop. You guys are like poop pirates or something. And
poop surfers would be cooler.
Yeah, poop surfers.
And oddly enough, that movie, The Shining, and that scene. So the scene in the Fire and Flood music video with the mountaintop,
yeah,
where we're standing in front of it, where we fell into the water, where Carl, actually our guitar player, like ate shit and fell in the water when we were recording right there.
Yeah.
That The Shining was filmed literally like a half a mile from that. Not all of it, but the lodge.
Wow. Is the lodge still there?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's Timberline Lodge. It's a ski resort.
Oh, okay. I don't know how I feel.
Still there.
I don't know how I would feel about staying there. That's kind of, I don't know. Just imagine. I know that sounds completely illogical, but there's a lot of noise in my signal right now.
And to be fair, I don't know if the interior of that was shot there. I don't think it was. I think it was just the exterior stuff of the lodge.
Yeah, the garden and whatever else.
Yep, and the big building itself.
Yeah. Cool. Now this is, I really enjoyed the way you guys did this music video because all of a sudden it's just so seamless the way you're freaking out and then you're on this journey. And so it's like in reality, or whichever one is the reality, you're one and then you're the other. And it's so seamless the way that you guys did that.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad that it translated well. Because it took a lot with this video. We worked on this one for a long time and just like trying to smooth out all the rough spots and get it to translate like that. I'm glad you see it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I mean, the funny thing is you watch something like this and it's like, man, this could be really bad in 2 seconds. But instead, I think you push the pills away or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, I feel like I understand where this person is coming from mentally when I see like the monsters and all of a sudden he's on an adventure and it's like, no, he's not actually crawling on a table. He's out on an adventure somewhere. But in reality, he's crawling on a table.
That's awesome. Because seeing it inside looking out, it's hard to make sure that actually translated, but I'm glad that you do see it that way.
Yeah. Groovy stuff, baby.
It takes a village, man. We had a team on that video. So it took a lot of effort from a lot of people to make that one happen.
Yeah. No, very good stuff. Super duper good stuff. I was actually really excited about this interview just because you guys, the music videos are classy and you guys are just, doing your thing so well. So I was actually really excited about it. So
thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I don't know if you noticed, but in that video, the nun that's in the noise video, that's Corey.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm going to look at that a little bit differently now. Cool. Sweet. So we chatted about ABBA. And in the beginning, we touched on some ABBA and how Ghost would be ABBA with distorted guitars. But if you listen close enough to ABBA, there are distorted guitars in there.
Oh, really?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I don't know if that would be my take about Ghost sounding entirely like ABBA, but I can see the connection.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but he's one of my favorite mix engineers. He did their album Prequel that has the song Rats on it. One of my favorite mix engineers. He did Royal Blood, too. I'm trying to remember his name. But anyway, finding your sound as a band, which is cool. These music videos, Oregonian stuff, landscapes, I guess we could call it.
Yeah, there's definitely no shortage of pretty backdrops in Portland to film music videos.
Yeah, I imagine.
We chatted about some off-day stuff.
Yeah?
Maybe because
Right on,
it's
buddy.
off-day. Maybe because it's off-day, but that would be probably the only reason.
Yeah. Cool. So, yes, we chatted about ABBA, finding your sound as a band, Oregonian landscapes, fire and flood music video. We chatted about the rigmarole about getting a freaking swimming pool when it's snowing outside, and Noise in the Signal getting a village to film all of that, and how Carl ended up dressed as a nun in order to... Corey, not Carl. Sorry. I apologize. Right in the middle of me saying that, I was like, should I trigger the name or not? I probably just should say the guitar player, but I went with it.
No. It was Corey, our manager.
Okay. I apologize.
She was the nun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. Jeez Louise. It's my off day.
He's just going crazy. His brain is toggling all over the place.
Going crazy. We also chatted about Cobra Kai for a second, which was also cool. I'm trying to find the part where the nun is, and it said it's all these like really weird, creepy things, and I'm not going to sleep tonight. So, is there anything else we were supposed to chat about, Ben?
Yeah, Fire's coming out. Set Oceans on Fire's coming out in June. New music videos. We're always cranking out videos. We try to put out a video for every song that we do. So we tend to release music as singles. So we'll have a couple more songs coming down the pipe pretty quickly after. There is something that I would like to talk about. We have a cool online event coming up May 10th, but I'm not really allowed to give details yet. So that's something to be on the lookout for, though. We're doing a cool, live stream from home kind of thing.
Okay. And I believe, because I've got your website info that I'm going to post on the show notes, and I believe all that information should be there. There's a few things down. I always try to direct people to where there's lots of links. So I put up a Bandcamp, because usually on Bandcamp you would have all your your YouTube, your Twitter, your Facebook, whatever you guys have. Is that
totally? And we just started a TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm glad somebody else is on TikTok.
That's just a hard one for me to get into, man. I think I'm past the age point on that one where I'm like, do we need one more social media account? Maybe not.
Yeah. Well, if it works, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
That's what the kids seem to be liking these days, so.
Yeah, exactly. Reminds me of that Sum 41 music video when they're like, no, you got to start smoking. That's what the kids are into these days.
Your name's Sven now.
And just call yourself the Sums. The whole number thing is out.
I remember that video.
Beautiful. All right. Boom. Well, Ben, thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today.
Man, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the late start. I was having mad technical difficulties. I'm trying to get... I host a podcast, too, for a jiu-jitsu company, a hemp jiu-jitsu company, called the Datsusara Podcast. And so I normally have a pretty rad setup, and today I had to hit it on the iPad because I was like, nothing is working!
Is it martial arts?
Yeah. Well, the podcast, so the company Datsusara is, we make backpacks and stuff out of hemp.
Right.
But yeah, primarily a jiu-jitsu focused focused company. So yeah, we martial arts.
Cool. Yeah. I love, I don't know if it's Japanese jiu-jitsu or Brazilian, but I love Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which
it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Yeah. Which obviously I haven't been able to do for a while for obvious reasons. And, Kung Fu, I'm keeping up with, somewhat virtually, somewhat kind of in person. It's tricky, but yeah.
So you used to do jiu-jitsu?
Yep.
Rad. Super cool.
Yeah. Did Machado.
Awesome, man. That's rad.
Yeah.